Today we're going to be talking about exercises for your VMO, the vastus medialis obliquus. The VMO is a teardrop muscle that's just right here on your thigh. It's very important for your knees to feel good and strong and healthy. You may have heard that it's really hard to strengthen the VMO, and I'm here to tell you that it's not. So I'm going to show you the most effective VMO exercise I've ever seen, and I'm going to show you some regressions in case it feels a little too hard for you. And please, serious safety warning here, I'm about to show you the exercise, and if it feels at all like your knees are gonna explode or you're not safe or it just doesn't feel like you can do this, don't try to force it. Make sure you don't do the exercise and watch the easier versions of the exercise that I'm gonna show you later in the video. Don't hurt yourself by doing something stupid, by forcing yourself through a warning signal. Take your time and do the easier exercises to build up. Good? Good. Get yourself something steady and stable like a chair, a door frame, it could be a banister, anything. Hang on to it. Go down, letting your knees go out a little bit. Your hips are open just a little bit. Get way down deep so that your heels are off the ground, your knees are super bent, and then you're just gonna come up and down, up and down. You wanna be in this area where you're at an acute angle between your femur and your lower leg bones. So you're just going up and down, up and down. That's it. Keep on going for repetitions until you feel like, whew, that's kind of burning a little bit. I can feel those muscles tingling. If this is your first time, I'd suggest doing 15 to 20 and then taking a break for about a minute or two before you come back. You're going to notice that that teardrop muscle is starting to feel some blood pumping through it. Then you can do another set of 10 to 20 and then see how that goes. I wouldn't suggest you do a whole bunch more than that. I learned this exercise from the knees over toes guy, Ben Patrick, and it is awesome and highly, highly effective for your VMO. If you haven't heard of Ben Patrick, the knees over toes guy, I will drop a link to his channel down in the description box. He is full of good thinking and good strategies for anybody who's got knee pain. If you're here because of knee pain, I want you to remember to ATM, always think muscles. We don't want to get caught up in the medical diagnoses that center on surgery as your ultimate solution. Arthritis, cartilage damage, all those things actually have shown no correlation between severity and actual symptom. That means you can be literally bone on bone in an x-ray and have no symptoms. It's just like the story that one of my viewers, Lynetta, shared where she said, my knees were nearly bone on bone 18 years ago and the doctor told me that I would have to have knee replacement within the year. I still haven't. The medical science around joint pain is just not good, which is why I say don't get caught in RIPS, rest ice injection pills, and surgery. We want to ATM, always think muscles. So that's why we're here to build your knee strength. Speaking of knee pain, if the thought of going down this deep and then going up and down makes you feel like your knees are going to explode, then don't go into it. Let's talk about how to regress this. Your knees have to actually get used to being able to be in deep flexion, meaning folded in and bent like this. So to get used to that, I suggest you get a step or stairs, something that's elevated, and then you're gonna work on just gradually moving in towards it. You wanna keep your abs on, you wanna feel a stretch on this back leg, and since we're talking about the knee, we want this knee to only go as far as it can without feeling like it's gonna explode. Get yourself into that position, and then push yourself out. You want to just gradually build this strength to go a little deeper, deeper, deeper so that your back of thigh is able to touch your calf without any strain or popping sensations in the knee. This is called a front foot elevated forward split squat, which is a whole lot of words. But basically the front foot is elevated and you're doing a split squat. As your hip flexors get more flexible and your knee gets more used to the position, you can start using a lower surface and then start moving more and more into having the front foot just basically down on the ground. You're getting closer and closer to doing the front splits in case that's something you actually want to do. But as it relates to the VMO, you really want it to be able to handle going really deep into flexion so that you can then be into that deep squat position that I showed you earlier. And yes, as you're doing that forward split squat on the ground at the very end, you can absolutely let that heel come up. So then you're actually creating the exact same knee and ankle position that you've got in that deep VMO squat that we were talking about earlier. With the forward split squat, stay in a pain-free range of motion and shoot for sets of 5 to 8 repetitions. Make sure you take your time as you get to that end position so your knee can get used to it, and use assistance from sticks or handles or walls as you need it so your balance feels okay. Try to get to about 20 to 25 reps and do that twice a week. So that could mean 4 sets of 5 reps on each leg, or it could mean 2 sets of 10 for each leg and then doing another set of 5 for each leg to get to 25. The goal is not to destroy your legs and feel like you're going to die, but rather that you are challenging yourself and your muscles obviously feel like they're getting some work. What I don't recommend is trying to do this every single day, especially if you're a beginner. Start slow, go gradual, because slow is safe and fast is foolish. Hey, I want to say a big thanks to Mary Wolf for the $100 donation that she made via PayPal. Thank you so much, Mary. If you'd like to support this channel too, use the donate link you'll find in the description box or the join and thanks buttons you'll find on YouTube. Also, I strongly encourage you to find me on all the other socials and to go to my website at uprighthealth.com to sign up for my newsletter so we don't ever get disconnected by the sensors. Now let's get back to it. And if doing that forward split squat just feels crazy to you and you don't feel like you have the balance and coordination to do it, you can start by sitting on a couch. You're gonna lean back in your couch, point your leg so that the thigh bone is going up towards the ceiling, and then you're gonna work on doing an extension. So you're straightening out the knee. That's knee extension. Okay, just practice this. Make sure you feel some muscle activity. Make sure nothing is cramping or going nuts. When you feel confident and ready with this exercise, you can go ahead and grab a light ankle weight, something like 1 to 2 pounds to start so you don't go nuts with your quads. You're gonna lean back here and then you're just going to extend. As you get to maximum extension, the straightest possible point, you might not feel like it's that hard. You're gonna feel like the hardest point is going from the start to around here, which is perfect because that VMO squat that I showed you at the beginning of this video is working your VMOs mostly because we're in a deep knee bend angle, and that's where the VMO is really working. So when we're in this deep knee bend here and we're working on extension with this ankle weight, we're really helping prep these muscles for being able to do the forward split squat and the VMO squat. You're definitely going to want to do both legs when you're doing this exercise, and make sure that you don't overdo it. If you're a total beginner, I would probably not exceed doing 40 total reps in any given session. So that means maybe you do a set of 20 and then rest, and then another set of 20 for both legs. Once you get more experience and your muscles are getting stronger, you can probably do plenty more, but when you first start, please do not cripple yourself with soreness. After you've done this the first time, take at least 2 days off to let any soreness show up and also to settle. If you're starting with very atrophied knee muscles, then jumping into any knee exercise has the potential of really getting very sore, and it may feel like the mechanics of your knee are a little bit funky for a few days. Don't force yourself through any pops or cracks, and if using weight feels like it's too much, then start off with no weight just to start working on the coordination so your brain and body know what the heck you're trying to do. And I can't give you a magic number of how many pounds in your ankle weight before you can go try the forward split squat. If you feel like, okay, my knees are a little more comfortable, go try doing that forward split squat and see how it feels, and take your time to get used to that exercise so that you can then progress to doing the full VMO squat. And do not be shy about using something to help you maintain your balance so you feel steady, stable, and safe. Ultimately, that's going to help you get stronger. That's going to help your VMOs build up. When I first saw Ben Patrick talking about this exercise with a soccer player who had enormous thighs, I was blown away by the testimonial. This guy had a lifetime of leg training, and he was saying he had never felt his VMOs on fire and as sore as what he felt after doing this deeper VMO squat. When I tried it, it was pretty crazy to feel the direct burn in the VMOs, so I hope you have the same experience. Let me know how these VMO exercises feel for you by dropping me a comment down below. I'm also going to drop a bunch of links in the description box that'll help you with your knees, including the original video on this deep squat that hits your VMO by Ben Patrick. To support this channel, use the donate button you'll find in the description box, or use the join and thanks buttons you'll find on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe with the bell notification on, and as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't. you.